It's Back to the Future. And then the TARDIS.
Wait.
Yep, right in front of
Oh
you.
shit!
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's all right.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, the whole thing is us.
Just
looking at
and
it.
so this is a podcast, and we're just telling you what's on the Roku screen saver
Yeah.
right now. Honestly, I think the Roku TV is like the last relevant screensaver that anybody actually would talk about.
Clock tower!
Mine has definitions
Yeah, the
of
clock
words.
tower.
Yeah.
Save the clock tower.
I get it.
Anyway,
I said that to you.
The
Just like,
arrow.
yeah,
I'm
she's
good
Back to
to
the
go.
Future, and there's a hoverboard
Oh,
on the
fuck.
bottom.
Holy shit!
There's no wheels on that bevel.
Yeah, and then there's the TARDIS, just chilling there.
Diner.
What's that diner?
Baby Driver? I don't know.
Barbershop.
Mighty Ducks.
Okay. Back to what you were doing. Clapping.
Hey, okay. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Sneaky Geek. That noise you're hearing in the background is the show.
The show.
And not our show, but that thing we refer to as the show when all the drunk people walk down the Gaslamp Quarter. And that means that we are in San Diego. And we are in San Diego for Comic-Con!
Yeah!
Comic-Con!
Yeah, it's
Yay!
July! Wait.
No, it's not. It's
not
November.
July.
In fact, Thanksgiving just happened. And Comic-Con is doing Comic-Con Special Edition. And we peeped so hard on that. Okay, good to know. We don't all yell at once.
It's totally gonna happen again.
That's fine.
Probably.
So, real quick introductions. Obviously, if you've listened to this before, you know that I'm Bryce Rankins, and this is my co-host, Brian Romero.
Hey, that's me. We're back.
Yay!
We're back because it's
Yeah.
only been a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Months? I don't know.
Listen, it's a Comic-Con, and it was in person. We can't not do a Comic-Con.
No.
We skipped Comic-Con at home this year because apparently
Did we even have
everybody
one?
else... There was a Comic-Con at home this year, but everybody else
Also skipped it.
also
Everybody
skipped
slept
it.
on Comic-Con at home.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was
And
going
that
on.
voice you're hearing is Nicole, who was with our last Comic-Con podcast.
I'm back, y'all. I don't
You're-
know why I said y'all. I'm not Southern.
It's fine.
You're now.
You are now.
I am now.
That's how it goes.
That's how it happens.
I hope
that's
you like
how you
mayonnaise.
get indoctrinated. Oh,
Oh.
gosh.
Wait, that's the Midwest. You can do it.
I am pretty sure that there's lots of mayonnaise in their sauces.
That's
the
fair.
raisins.
Or the block of cream cheese.
I've seen remoulade.
Block of
That's
cream
basically
cheese.
mayonnaise.
And new to the podcast is Bridget. Not my sister Bridget. Different Bridget.
A better Bridget?
I'm not going to say that because I
No
know the
comment.
other one for like 31 years.
What, you know her 30 years, you know me what? A year? Come
That's
on.
enough time to
Where's your
decide,
loyalties?
All right. Bridget?
Yes.
I'm sorry. No, my sister Bridget. Bridget, if you're listening to this at home, you didn't come with me to Comic-Con. It's
fair.
Bridget and Nicole's very first Comic-Con, which
Yeah.
Comic-Con Special Edition I personally think is an excellent introduction into cons in general because you're still getting the crazy hugeness of Comic-Con without the crazy
Hugeness of Comic-Con.
hugeness of Comic-Con.
Nicely put, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this also both of your guys' first conventions?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You've never been to a convention, never
I've
an
been
anime?
to one for work, but it's for like industrial automation, so not exciting.
I went to a hemp convention for a job I had with an agricultural dealership company.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was just a bunch of like different ag businesses like marketing themselves.
Yeah.
And I was marketing our business. So
I mean, I went to a
don't-
job fair. Does that count too?
No.
I mean, how
I
loose are
think
we going
none
with
of you-
conventions?
Was there any
I won a clock at that job fair. I guessed how many M&Ms were in a jar.
I actually got more free swag at the hemp conference than I did here.
Yeah, they were really
Yeah,
stingy
that's-
on free swag this year.
Yeah.
The last couple of years they've been kind of.
Yeah, but this one,
I mean, when we.
there's also just like, companies that should be throwing their money out at
Us?
at us to be like, hey, watch our shit. Aren't they're doing that? And
Yeah.
they're not like, there's not shitloads of people just being like, take this. Like the only free thing I've been handed in the last like 24 hours was a mix CD.
You know,
And then that guy
$5
tried to
for it.
get me.
Yeah.
Then he was like, "Hey, maybe you should if you, I'd love a donation." And I'm like, "Dude, if I had a little cash, I'd throw you a little cash, but I don't have any cash." He goes, "I take Venmo," and I'm like, "Well, okay, yeah, I could throw a couple bucks towards you at Venmo." And then I was like, "Wait a minute, my phone's dead because my phone always dies at the con." and because I played Marvel Strike Force earlier today, and that is a phone killer. And then so I told him my phone was dead, and he says, "Oh, we take card." And I was like, "Buddy, this is." I said, "That's too far. I'm gonna have to stop it." I gave him back his
It's
CD,
not a
and I was like,
donation
"You have
at this point.
at this point, this is getting crazy."
Imagine he
in fact,
pulls
I said,
out,
I think we're getting a little
old,
too crazy.
Card tap thing that we've seen at the con.
Right?
An
Everyone's got a
old tiny
square.
cash
Yeah.
register.
But
He pulls out an old one. Yeah.
runs the thing over my card,
Yeah.
presses the check. Anyway, that is the only time somebody has just come up and handed me anything at this con. And normally, I leave with a bag, and I've been bombarded with business cards and
Free
stickers
comics.
and pins and free comics and all sorts of crazy stuff.
We got
like
the
that.
little gift bag when we got our badges.
Yeah.
We got one little gift bag, but usually there's like a
I was
Usually
gonna
it's a
say,
big,
is that
hefty
like
bag.
what you usually get when you go to
No.
like?
The-
Because we got like to the listeners out there, we've got in the bag. It was like a pamphlet of the things.
We got
happening.
our program.
Yeah.
Yep.
A pin that said San Diego
Comic-Con
Comic Con,
Which is
yeah.
cool. Yeah, it was an enamel
Yeah.
pin.
Yeah. And then we got a spray-on hand sanitizer,
Sponsored by.
Poopery,
Ooh.
which I am a fan of their product, so I thought that was cool. I'm not a fan of spray-on hand sanitizer though. The gel is where it's at
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Same.
So, but that was all that was included.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
We got hand sanitizer and a program schedule.
But it was nice that they were giving out sanitizer.
That I like.
Yeah.
But there's not a whole lot of hand sanitizer just around the con.
No.
No,
Not even
I
on booths,
noticed
like
that.
individually. I thought like, hey, sanitize,
Yeah.
we're gonna touch our stuff.
There are some, but just
Not
not.
enough.
Yeah, that's
enough.
booth by booth, who's
Yeah.
going to do it.
Anyways, they're doing it because we're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh,
and,
yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, so regular Comic-Con hasn't happened for like 2 years now?
2 years. There was a Comic-Con at home last year, and
Yeah.
because everybody had already been scheduled to go to Comic-Con, they still had all this programming that they wanted to at least get out somewhere.
Yeah.
So we got great at-home panels on YouTube, and it was basically like watching a bunch of Zoom meetings with like celebrities, and it was fun. But then, and with that, we got regulars like trailers that we normally get at Comic-Con and stuff like that. This year, I think every one of those major companies knew
anything.
that they weren't going to be going to Comic-Con, so they didn't prep anything.
Yeah.
We didn't really get much out of
No,
Comic-Con
there
at
was
home this year.
No DC, no Marvel booth.
Yeah.
nothing.
Well, but I mean, this is just for Comic-Con during July.
Oh.
Like that, there wasn't really a lot for that. But then Comic-Con announced that they were going to do Comic-Con Special Edition.
Which is what this is.
And that's where we're at right now. And Comic-Con Special Edition is, and I mean, I know you guys can't necessarily speak to this, but like, it's just so much smaller,
yeah.
and it feels a
In a
lot
good
like
way.
WonderCon
Yeah.
in its numbers, which WonderCon is in Anaheim, and that's a lot smaller.
Smaller venue. Slightly
But-
different focus, but like still like a decent con.
Right. But at WonderCon, there's two things that this Comic-Con doesn't seem to have, and one is an abundance of comic vendors. There's only
Yeah.
like 4 major comic vendors at this con right now.
Yeah, I mean, a little side story. I was trying to find a certain, what are they called?
Trade?
Trade. I was trying to find a trade.
Trade paperback.
Yep.
Yeah, of Planet Hulk for my
Right.
dad because
Yeah.
he's like a fan of Hulk and he always loved that storyline. And it was so funny how we went to one place, we're like, oh, they have all the stuff here, and he wasn't there. And then Brian's like, I don't know if anyone else is going to be selling this here. And we're at Comic Con.
Yeah,
right?
Where are
Yeah.
the comics?
And so
Yeah.
we had to go to a couple places, and Brian was like, I'm sorry, we might not find it. We did find it.
Yeah.
But we went to like the only 4 comic book stands really
Right.
that they would
Which is
possibly
weird
have
because
it.
normally there's like
Normally, there's a whole section as big as Artist Alley, at least,
Yeah.
of like
just
people
comic
slinging
vendors.
comics.
Yeah.
But one of the things that is, I mean, to get a little bit more on the inside side of this, because one of the comic vendors here, Al, has an online store on Instagram. It's GoDaddyOs. That's GODADDYS or OS. Comics or whatever. He runs an online shop that he exclusively online. There's no like brick and mortar place you can go to. Like,
Rick and
Rick and
Morty.
Morty.
Brick and Morty.
No, Rick and Morty.
I'm brick. Anyway, there's no. I turned myself into a brick, and I'm gonna be nominated for an Emmy like Jake did. If you haven't seen Jake the Brick on Adventure Time, it is one of the best episodes ever. It is just John DiMaggio,
Being a brick.
just being a brick and describing what he sees. It's great. Anyway, brick and mortar store. He's only online, but he does have a different thing going on with where he goes and sings the comics at cons. And Al's been doing this forever. He and Fuzzy both told me that all exhibitors basically paid regular Comic-Con prices to come to this con, which I'm sorry,
Seems a bit
but
unfair.
considering that I have not had to do the con shuffle once,
Yeah.
which the con shuffle is when you take the little tiny steps and Bryce's hips and knees are on fire at the end of the day.
That's what you get for being like 6'4".
Yeah, well,
It's kind of like when you're at Disneyland nowadays.
yeah. But because of that, because everything's so open right now, that's really scary for a lot of these vendors, and I think that's what kind of kept a lot of the comic slingers from coming over, because one guy can go walk into your booth and then leave, and you're like, cool, I made my money, I'm good.
Yeah.
One guy can turn your entire con around, but when your numbers have gone from basically 6 digits to 5 to down less than half.
They expected about half the people to show up, and we were at a panel today. We'll get into that a little bit later, but they mentioned they're like, oh yeah, people can walk up still and get a badge for tomorrow.
Yeah, if
Today's Saturday, by the way.
Yeah, today's Saturday. We came late
27th?
on. Yeah. Today we came late yesterday, and we'll get to how all that went down, but that.
We'll come right back to the beginning in the middle of the story. Don't worry
Right.
about it.
Anyway,
We're in Tarantino. It's fine.
No, we're Christopher Nolan this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, my point is, we came in last night and there was not hardly anybody in the exhibit hall. It was relatively empty. We had a half an hour of time left before they closed it. And then today, even at the highest point in the numbers where it was just this is a lot of people, it wasn't this is a lot of people in normal terms. It was this is a lot of people and we're still in a pandemic, so I'm going to take a break for a second and go get lunch, But I can get anywhere I want to. I'm not terrified that something's going to get sold out immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been in malls more crowded, honestly.
Yeah.
We literally could just walk straight from one end of the con to the other with no problem in less than 10 minutes if we wanted
Easily.
to.
Yeah.
Through the middle of the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, we stopped in the middle of an aisle and just stood and talked with friends for 15 minutes.
None of us got
That's
transit.
unheard of.
Yeah.
That never happens in at this place. So it's really cool, I think, because you guys who have never gotten to be at a con before aren't in what like Fuzzy and Juan were saying today. Don't make Comic-Con your first con.
Yeah.
San Diego Comic-Con is, if that's your first con, you're I mean, they were talking about it because every con after that it seems so small, but also because it's overwhelming.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
time.
I guess they kind of meant it as if it was a regular San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
And
feel like
that's-
this instance was.
I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, this was a good step. I mean, I won't speak for both of us, but I think we both agree that it was a good way to get into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just, dip your toe in a little bit first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're at SDCC Special Edition, and we've just finished Saturday.
It's the weekend after Thanksgiving.
It is.
So I think that could be.
It started on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Which is
I didn't even think of
Yeah.
Black Friday. That's the weirdest thing.
Honestly, it was weird. I was telling my sister and my brother, this is the first Black Friday I've done that I haven't actually looked into anything. So I'm like, whatever. It's,
But also, I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con on Black Friday, and I feel like that is a safer choice than going to a Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I made the intelligent choice here to go. Yeah, I'll go to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But and the numbers here are
At least
very
masks
very
are
small. But
enforced here.
yeah,
All enforced in the con.
in the con.
I won't
Yeah.
say as
Inside
much
the con.
for
The rest of San Diego.
Gaslamp right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
rest of San Diego in
strange.
general. You'll get into the story of Friday, but when I was waiting for you guys to meet up at the Airbnb, I stopped off at a mall to go to a Barnes & Noble and just kill some time.
Mhm.
'Cause I can easily spend an hour in Barnes & Noble without
Oh,
even
yeah.
thinking. And it wasn't until I was in the parking lot that I was like, oh, I'm here on Black Friday. I'm at a mall right now on Black Friday. And
Yeah.
it was a lot of people, but I still feel like it was not as crazy as I have seen in past. So I'm like, yay. But yeah, it didn't even really cross my mind until I was in a situation where I would think of, why is there so many people here? Oh, it's Black Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
Not so much when we actually got here and walked around the con. I wasn't thinking like, oh, people are definitely trying to get it around here. Who's gonna go to Gaslamp for Black Friday?
Not a thing.
I mean, you go eat after you're done.
Yeah.
With your Black Friday shopping.
But even then, like locals
Locals
don't.
Gaslamp.
Every local I know is like, I don't go to Gaslamp.
Yeah.
touristy. Anyway, so touristy, we're here. So they announced special edition only a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what, we're going to try this out weekend after Thanksgiving. Badges go on sale in a couple weeks, usual kind of thing. And we got our badges. That was a funny story.
So I'm gung-ho that we're going to go to Comic-Con because I miss cons so much. And like Brian has said in every podcast we've had about a con, it's like Vegas.
Yeah.
You want to go, you're excited to go, you get there, and by the time you're ready to leave, you're like, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to go anywhere near
On day 3, you're like, I'm done. We're good. I'm good for another year. Maybe I won't even go next year. You know what? I'm okay with it.
And then 6 months later, WonderCon comes and you're like, I missed cons.
Yeah.
But with this, you were saying that the ticket situation, I was gung ho that we were going to go, and I made sure that we were ready on the weekend that tickets opened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to be there at 10 o'clock on the website, waiting for it to load.
Wait, really quickly.
Yeah.
I told Brian I really wanted to do this, and he was telling me like, okay, this is the time. Bryce has told me like we're going to do it at 10 a.m. this day, and this was the weekend. It was in September. We were moving my brother back into college, and I still had Brian like on my phone, like, and I had timers set up, and I was ready to create my account and ready to buy it. And then it got to the time,
and then the website didn't change.
Nothing changed. It was.
And we were like, uh-oh, something going wrong? And the Comic-Con website is notoriously shitty anyway.
So we waited out.
So we waited it for like 5-10 minutes before Brian sends me a text and goes, wait, were you the one who figured it out, or was it me? I don't remember.
you texted me, so
I think it was me. You figured it out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, son of a bitch. It's next weekend. And like, I straight up warned like the comic book shop owner who was like having a sale. I was like, hey, morning might be slow. Comic-Con badges go on sale today. It was the weekend before.
Yeah.
Completely fucked that up. And then the next weekend comes, and I guess I just spent all of my Comic-Con energy because
we both forgot about it.
At 10 o'clock, it opened, and at noon, I get a text from Brian.
Oh, shit.
And if you've ever tried to get into the Comic-Con lottery, if you remember at noon, you didn't get in.
Screwed.
You're screwed. If you remembered at 10:30, you might not get in. And like, even if you were on at
Probably
10, you might not get in because it's such an insane lottery. So
1 o'clock rolls around and we got our badges like that.
No problem.
I told Bridget, but you were moving into your own apartment then.
Yeah, no, it was like the worst kind of timing. Like I was moving somebody in somewhere, but I luckily like got to sit down and just buy it that instant. I was like, oh,
it was a couple hours later too.
Cool, yeah.
There were. That's one of the things that was scaring my buddy who slings comics at the con. He was like, I paid full price for an exhibitor badge, and 3-day passes are still available a month later.
Yeah.
3-day passes were available on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You can go and get a Sunday badge right now or tomorrow. There's plenty.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. So yeah, we got our tickets.
But so it's cool this year because with the pandemic going on and the COVID going around and making people sick, like they took it really seriously. Either you have to have a negative test within 3 days,
Yes,
or your vaccination card.
Yeah. So we got our little vaccine wristbands that we're all wearing and hoping.
They told us not to take off ever.
Yeah.
They're
It's
waterproof. So shower with it, sleep with it on.
I just showered with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like showering with it.
It was uncomfortable, and I didn't go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got the things super fast. We didn't even have to wait a line for that.
We walked straight up.
Yeah.
And then walked straight up to get our badge. And
took us 5 minutes.
I will say the looks on both Brian and Bryce's faces when we walked in, because we got our badges at Hall H.
Yeah. So you pick up your badge in Hall H, which if anybody knows, like that is it's the biggest hall, but it's also you never get in unless you
Camp
out.
You literally have to camp out to get in, and then you sit in that hall all day
Never leave.
because if you don't sit through all of the panels you don't care about, you won't get into the panel that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the Hotel California?
Yeah.
He's like,
You can check out anytime you like,
but you can never leave.
Yeah. Yeah, so Bryce and I walked in, we're just like,
What
holy
the
shit.
hell?
And like I knew of Hall H, like because I've seen the YouTube like panels and like that's when they release trailers for big Marvel or DC stuff. But I feel like when Nicole and I were just like, yeah, come on guys, we have to keep walking down the sign.
We're like,
Get our
what
badges.
is going on?
Yeah, like Brian's freaking out about Hall H being like empty. I'm just like, where are all the people? Like, period. Like,
It was,
Hall H
like-
aside,
It was like six.
there were like
6 on
6
Friday.
people in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, walking to go get their badges, and I'm just like, what is this magic?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel rushed. We didn't have to shuffle all the way through a line to get there. It was beautiful.
It was great.
And then we went in and we, scoped it out, saw what there was to see, and then what did we do after that?
Got
Got
food.
dinner, yeah.
We went and got dinner.
Came back to the Airbnb.
Came back to our Airbnb, which is on 5th in the Gaslamp Quarter,
Yeah.
that we were able to secure like a few
Like
weeks
last
ago.
week.
In an old building built in the 1880s.
With an
like,
elevator I have stopped using because I do not trust it.
And very slanted floors.
Yeah.
Our floor is so slanted that if you push a water bottle, if you put a marble down, it'll roll to the corner of the
Oh, yeah.
room.
It was very disorienting when we first came in. We're like, this
Yeah, what
feels
the hell?
off.
Feels
I
like
felt drunk.
vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did feel like
Yeah.
vertigo.
Yeah, I still occasionally there's certain parts of the floor where I'm like,
You'll
whoa.
step in it.
Out in
What
the
the hell?
hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is bizarre. Yeah, this building is
100,
over.
It's 130 something years old.
140 something.
100,
No, it's
121.
It's 131.
21. 31.
88 to
31.
98.
31.
98 to 2008.
31.
2008 to 2018. Plus 19.
Are you
20.
mansplaining years?
So this
21.
is a podcast, and Bryce is.
So, you know what? You
Take
know what?
that,
You know what?
teachers.
We'll be right back. And we're back. And it was 133. I was right, which makes me happy.
I mean, you said 131, so you weren't right either.
That's true.
None of us were right. We're all bad at math. We should all go back to grade school.
I am okay at math because I didn't say anything at all.
Correct.
I knew
Whoa.
from an early age I'd never
You're
be
great
a
at
STEM
math
major.
and logic.
Yes. Also, in the meantime, that foam roller totally rolled across the floor.
Yeah,
we have
it
a
was
foam
next to
roller.
my suitcase and then
As
it's all the way over at the wall now.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
we've been sitting here, it has traveled.
Anyway, so that's Comic-Con special edition, like kind of your whole backstory. I want to talk about actual con experiences and how it's been going for you. So I want to start with Bridget. Bridget,
Oh my goodness.
first of all, how do you like Comic-Con? Like, how is this for you?
I really like it. I am. It's weird to say. Like I'm a nerd. I do like a lot of
Geek stuff.
Geek stuff. However, I always felt like it's been gatekept a lot, where I don't feel like I should even go to these places.
Welcome to Sneaky Geek.
Yeah. No.
Which, like, the whole point of this podcast from the very beginning was, like, let's get around gatekeepers because they're obnoxious.
Screw those guys.
Yeah.
I thought I meant like you guys are being sneaky about being geeks. So I was like, you guys aren't being sneaky about it.
Oh,
It's
no.
We
very
were
obvious.
sneaky, but I used to be really sneaky about being a geek because I didn't want to deal with the other side of gatekeeping, which is when they're too intense.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you go,
It
I
turns
don't
you
want
off
to be
from
your
it.
friend, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
freaking me out a little bit. Yeah.
Back on yes. So I never really felt like I was like gonna be I don't know, accepted, allowed to really be there because I knew
As you
only.
sit in a Star Wars shirt.
Fun fact.
So this is a podcast. Bridget is wearing a Star Wars shirt with the unfinished Death Star from Return of the Jedi.
It is an extra large. I did win it in a trivia competition where they asked where did a filming location for the 6th movie happen, and it happened in Glamis, the desert near my hometown. So I
Nice.
got it right, and I got this shirt.
Cool.
And that was when I was in high school.
Nice.
That was a tangent. But
No, that's what our
What?
podcast is.
Yeah.
Life's just full of tangents here. But yeah, no, I always felt like I like the mainstream stuff, like, you know, things that have crossed over so people don't really think, oh, if you like it, it doesn't mean you're much of a nerd because everyone likes it. Like Star Wars, I like all the Marvel, the DC stuff.
See, yeah, and like when we
Harry
were growing up, with all that
Potter.
kind of stuff like that was not a thing at all.
No.
Well, I am a bit younger than you guys.
Yeah.
So maybe me growing up, like when I was in high school and
You're
stuff.
welcome for paving the way.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah, my God. Where would I be today?
Honor.
Hey man,
Elder.
my long year president reign in the anime club in high school is basically why you're here right now. Yeah. Let me just push these glasses right up my nose. No. Not at all.
Meanwhile, Nicole and I are actually wearing glasses.
Yeah, I know, right?
Rolling their eyes loudly if you guys can't hear.
Anyway, no, I didn't do shit.
Yeah, but I mean, even today, not that it's against you, any of you guys are really big fans of a lot of the material and know a lot of stuff, and so I was me trying to play catch up or me just trying to like infer what's going on.
Intimidating.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
intimidating,
Yeah.
yeah. And this, even though this one feels a little bit more catered towards like the people that used to go to Comic-Con before the big named stars and
Right.
movies were going there,
Mhm.
I did still feel super comfortable, at least going up and like asking questions.
That's
or
good. That's so
Yeah.
good.
even like saying, I don't read a lot of comic books. Where should I start?
Yeah.
Like, where can I go from here? There was a Jurassic Park booth, and I'm a huge
Yeah.
Jurassic Park fan. I was like,
Right.
why would this be here? But I'm not gonna complain.
Hell no.
No, Jurassic Park has its fair share of nerds. It's got a ton of properties. It's
Mhm.
got video games. It's got action figures, collectibles.
Cartoons.
The animated show.
There's
Yeah.
the animated show Camp Cretaceous, which is absolutely geared towards children.
Funko Pop that no
and
one
I
can find.
still like it. I still like that show. I don't care how
Sexy Ian Malcolm. Not
Yeah.
Ian.
10-year-old
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ian
that's
Malcolm.
the
Yeah,
same.
you got it right.
Okay, I second guessed myself.
So,
Well, I will say that today I did buy 2 Jurassic Park themed things at 2 different booths.
Yeah.
and the print you got was really pretty.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, because they don't know me and weren't there, I got this print of a Velociraptor, like a sort of like concept drawing for it
Yeah.
that was made by Stan Winston and another one of the creature creators for
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
movie. And if you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan about movies in general too, but Jurassic Park paved the way for CGI. Just like full-bodied, like
Yeah.
multiple like moving camera along with it, not just station. It's like the things it did for modern cinema is amazing.
Hell yeah.
And so they were selling prints of like velociraptors and T-Rexes. There was Dilophosaurus
The Dilophosaurus, the
Your favorite?
Gallimimus.
and Bronchiosaurus.
There was a
Bronchiosaurus.
That's what a Brachiosaurus has,
It's
bronchitis.
like a very, very
Yeah.
sick dinosaur.
There was a Brachiosaurus.
He did sneeze in the movie.
Yeah.
There was a Triceratops. There was a close-up detail of the Dilophosaurus. There were 9 of them in total.
Yeah.
There was,
Yeah.
and there was an umbrella that the handle was like the handle of the cane that the
Dr.
owner,
Hammond.
Dr. Hammond had with like the
The amber with
The
the,
amber.
mosquito.
amber
in it.
coat. Yeah,
That
exactly.
was really cool.
Was very close to getting that, but then I thought, where would you be okay just going out and having this in the middle of a rainstorm? No, you
You
wouldn't.
can't open it inside either because that's bad luck.
Exactly. So it's like double to catch-22. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm rambling on with my story so much.
No,
No, welcome to the podcast. This is what we do.
I wanted my next question was gonna be like, what were you kind of here for? Like, what did
Oh,
you?
okay,
in-
yeah.
Like, in a con, there's kind of like 3 things, especially at SDC, but at least 2 main ones, and that's panels and the exhibit hall. And obviously panels aren't. We don't have a lot of big names here as far as like who's doing a panel, except
Yeah.
for Kevin Eastman, who's like all over this freaking con. It's like a Kevin Eastman con right now. But
Ninja
Kevin
Turtles.
Eastman created Ninja Turtles.
Thank you.
But like the second half of being at a con, and one of the reasons you don't always fill your schedule with panels is because you want to see the exhibit.
There's
hall,
lots
see
to
all
do,
the
there's
cool
lots
shit.
to
There's
see.
artists, there's signings, there's meet and greets, and you can we met a Power Ranger today that was cool.
We met 2 Power Rangers.
Yeah,
We
up
technically
and
did
coming
meet 2
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But you kind of go in and go, okay, I know what I'm into. I'd like to find something regarding this property.
Yeah.
So you didn't expect Jurassic Park, but as soon as it became on the radar, you were like, I guess I'm at a Jurassic Park mood today.
Yes, I immediately focused in on it, and after we were done snacking and going around, I was like, I gotta circle back. I gotta go see what's over there.
Yeah.
That was the first purchase of the day, and let me tell you, once you buy something, it's a slippery slope. You're like, I already paid
yeah.
this much for this. I'm gonna go ahead. Right after, I bought a hat that said "Clever Girl," so now I have 2 just Jurassic Park themed Velociraptor within Jurassic Park themed things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, like, just from there, I was like, well, I guess I broke the seal. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money doesn't mean anything anyways. It's not
Yeah.
real.
You got Funko exclusives.
I did. Well, hold on. Let's tell the story. Of the
Yeah,
beginning.
let's tell the story because getting an exclusive at a con is no easy feat normally.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we had a little bit of a later start this morning because we were all just love sleeping. But we finally got over there. I think in like 9:45,
Right.
10,
Yeah.
maybe something like that. And the exhibit opened at 9. We saw this line coming in, and I heard someone behind us say that it was for the Funko Pops, and I knew I wanted to get one. And my brother had asked me if I could go and see what the exclusive stuff was. So we got in line, and it was weird how they did it. Like they let you in, you went into a certain line within like Hall A of it, and then you would go up to the tables, and they had this sort of magic cube. And you had to press it. If you got green, you got a wristband with a time of when you could go get a Funko Pop. If you got red, you means sorry.
Somebody in the world who you don't know dies.
Apparently, but you don't get any money.
James Marsden gets sucked up into a bathtub of water that's floating in the air.
No.
Did you guys not see the box?
No.
Wait, why would...
Nobody saw the box.
I saw a little bit of it, but
I
I
I
It's
heard about
terrible.
it and I was like, nah.
Cameron
It's on
Diaz
the
has one of the
trailer,
weirdest
but-
accents. It's
She's a
yeah.
bad- okay.
Anyway, that's the box. Not important. Everybody go home and watch the box.
Yeah.
And then you can suffer with me, and we'll all enjoy.
That's what your panel's on, is the
I'll be
box.
happy for the Schadenfreude, but you'll appreciate the commiserating. Anyway,
Okay, so mind
So you
you,
press the
I
button.
was the reason we got in line.
yeah, we could have
Yeah.
just walked into the exhibit hall.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. There was no line to get into the exhibit
So
hall.
we
or
all
anything.
four
It
of
was
us
like,
walked
go
up
in.
to the table, and one by one pressed the box to see what our fate was. And everyone but me got green.
Yep.
Yep.
I got to go in at 4. I missed it. Nicole got to go in at 2.
She
I also
missed
missed it.
And Brian got to go in at 5.
Except he gave me
Yeah.
his wristband because I was
Yes.
the one who actually
Yeah.
wanted to go.
Yeah.
And we almost missed mine too. It was 5:30.
Yeah, it was 5:30 when we were
And I was like,
we're
oh,
still in
shit.
to
mad
go.
at
They were mad at me. They're like, you should have been here at 5. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought this meant
Then
that I
don't
had
put
the
a
hour of
time
5
range
o'clock.
on
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah, it didn't. It just said like 5 or 6.
He did talk to me after you left, and he really didn't seem like he was mad as much as he was just so surprised that you weren't like right there because how quickly things sell out.
I had
Maybe.
shit to do.
Yeah, man, I had shit to do. I had to go. I don't know, buy a poster.
Probably. But yeah, there was only one Funko exclusive for the San Diego Comic-Con left. It was like an Iron Man themed toucan? Is that the
Toucan.
the
Oh, the
mascot?
toucan is the
Yeah.
mascot of
Comic-Con.
Yeah, and this one it was red and gold, so I'm assuming it's supposed to be Iron Man thing, but it did not say anywhere or specify.
It just says toucan.
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So this is a podcast, and Bridget's running over to grab that Funko Pop right now. And yep, she's searching through, and she pulled it out.
Yeah, no, it doesn't specify.
Toucan.
It just says toucan, but it is in the same
It
style
is
as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got mechanical parts, it's got bolts and such on it. It is in the color scheme of Iron Man, and it is for Comic-Con. So if I had to make a guess, I'd say that's what they were going for.
Thank
I
you.
think we're safe to say that.
Yeah, it's a very educated guess.
Yep. Anyway, so you got that, and then you got 2 others.
Yes, because the line didn't end with one. There was another sort of
Other Funko Pop. That was
But it
Funko Pop
Asia.
Asia.
And I was
Yeah.
like, and so the guy I asked, I said, he's like, oh, which one would you like? I said, I was led here. I don't know what this is. And he was basically, he's like, this is more exclusive stuff. It has a San Diego Comic-Con labels on it, so it is like only sold here, and I guess they're designed in Asia, or they're like based on the ones sold in Asia. He said that they look Asian or something. I was like, no, they don't look like regular Funko Pops. That's a weird.
They don't look any different.
Yeah, I was like,
Maybe it's a design that was like exclusive to Asia.
I would
based on
assume
that
so.
He
design.
just was trying to, explain the markup in price. These are imported Funko Pops.
I mean, they were
Oh,
$5 more than
They're not a
the toucan.
domestic Funko Pop. Ooh.
And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I'll take 2.
Yeah.
And then I did.
Yeah.
And you got black and white.
It was just, it's a gray tone.
Yeah, like a grayscale.
Should I go get the other one?
No, because I mean we
Okay.
can't see it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, go get them for sure. Yo, look at that, she has them. Hooray!
Yes. Oh, so
Oh, they are those colors. Yes.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
It was, it's a Wonder Woman and a Superman, and they are like gray or monochrome.
They're grayscale,
Grayscale,
monochrome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also had a Flash one, but I was like, I don't watch that. So.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I just started it recently.
But I got it for my mom and dad. This whole trip is basically, I bought a couple things for me, but most of it is gifts for other people. And I've realized that that's probably what a lot of people do.
And honestly,
That's not what I've done at all.
Speaking of the slippery slope, like buying something for myself opens the gates of like, well, I guess I'm buying things now. Buying something for other people, I'm 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I had to start setting a number in my head, like you can't spend more than this on people. Like, I don't care how cool it is. Your sister, like, I don't care how much she loves the Fraggles. You cannot get her a vintage $250 Fraggle Rock lunchbox.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
They were so cool. Okay, the lunchbox collection is just.
Some of them had the matching thermos.
I know they had some
That's
really
impressive.
cool ones. There was the Fraggle Rock one, but there were others.
I
There
saw
was
a
a
Golden
Mork and
Girls
Mindy?
one.
there was a Mork and Mindy one.
Yeah.
There was
Golden
Girls.
Yep.
There were a couple
Pigs
other
in
like kids.
Space.
They had Pigs in
Yeah.
Space. She would have
Oh
lost
yeah, they
her
did have
mind
Pigs in
over
Space.
Pigs
That
in
was also
Space.
$250.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. No, those were both the ones I was looking at. I think they might have had a
Right.
Dark Crystal one too.
They
Yeah,
do have
they're
Dark
there.
Crystal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you have anything other than like gifts for your brother and your mom and dad that you were like really kind of like, I hope I see this?
I mean, I also, again, not having any sort of conclusions of what this was going to entail because it's smaller and I've never actually been to one of them. I thought maybe Marvel and DC were going to be here.
Right. And when they are, Marvel's super loud because they're like giving away things and yelling at people, and
Which I love.
all of they have concept artists showing up. They have signings constantly.
Shout out to the Marvel crew.
Yeah. Because they work their asses
They're
off to
rad.
make sure it doesn't get crazy in there.
Can confirm.
They'll bring
So I
up, if
worked there for
there's
a little
really
bit.
good
Yeah.
Marvel cosplayers, they'll bring them up. One year I was up watching a crazy detailed Guardians of the Galaxy cosplay, and then up shuffles Stan Lee, and he's just like, and he had everybody say Excelsior together, and he's like, you guys know just where to go when you're going to a con. You know, and he was great. He's like, you have wonderful taste. And then he, hung out with all the Guardians up there, and like, it's insane.
Yeah.
And like, I have a stack that is at least 5 inches thick of comics that I got for free from that Marvel booth. And I've got so many things signed from there.
Yeah.
And I met all of the concept artists for the Infinity War movie, like got to talk to them about what their favorite was, had the time to do it.
Yeah.
And then the DC booth is this like 2-story tower thing with like costumes out, and they're giving away free comics as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're not as loud or as showy, but like,
This might be a
fucking
bit
party.
overstepping since I haven't been to any others, but I feel like their presence was missed.
I
Yeah.
would absolutely
Yeah,
agree, and
big
you could
time.
tell it on the floor.
Yeah.
There was a certain quietness that
It wasn't as exciting.
There wasn't as much hype going
And
on.
yeah, and not in a not necessarily
wasn't
a
boring.
bad way.
It was calm.
Yeah.
But it was calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The loudest
was still
noise
nice.
was the
I guess the Funko Pop, yeah, that was
Good.
like the only.
the
Because they had a badass DJ. I don't
Yeah,
know
he was
who
great.
it was, but he was mixing
He
great.
did play the Golden Girls theme song.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were on the escalator and I was like, thank you for being a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, it was everything. Like I heard the Ninja Turtles theme song, and then I heard the Friends theme song.
Yeah.
But then I heard like Prince,
Beastie
Yeah.
Boys.
Beastie
Insane.
Boys,
Rick
Yeah.
Astley, right?
Yeah.
Rick Astley. We
Yeah.
got a little Rick roll going
New
on.
Kids on the Block. They
Yeah,
played.
that was when we were leaving.
That was the only like
Oh.
high energy I was getting from them. I'm not like
Yeah.
I'm not. This is not against any of the people who are exhibitors or people who have their art and other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But it did feel sort of like going through the motions a little bit. Not like, oh, we're very excited for this to be.
No, they were
here
there
or
to sell
this.
stuff, you know, and they
You
weren't there
know?
necessarily to sell their brand, and I think that's really where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah.
You know, because normally it's not just those. There's also Boom Studios and IDW,
Yeah,
and then
Dark
there's
Horse is around.
Capcom sometimes has stuff. They're like,
Yeah.
they'll let you play games for free. Nintendo usually has a whole room.
Lucasfilm has a big
Yeah.
old
Okay.
block.
Also, yeah, Lucasfilm
Lucasfilm
wasn't
Cartoon
there.
Network,
No.
TV and film just aren't there.
They weren't there this year.
And so it's basically merch and
Art.
a little bit of comics, and then a lot
Yeah.
of
A lot of
artists, a lot of artists, and a lot of small print.
Which we'll get into.
Because when we don't, I mean,
Yeah.
I say, comics weren't, or the producer companies weren't there. The comic, like the self-published comic, there's a whole section for
Yeah.
for that small press,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's where our friend Fuzzy Joseph is, who's
Yeah.
been on the podcast before. But yeah, so without them being here, Marvel and DC. Sorry for that tangent.
Yeah, but that also like kind of light bulb. I got into most of this sort of like more geekier stuff through movies and television. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't, I didn't really have comic books and stuff growing up, and
Same.
so watching.
Honestly, same.
Yeah, so like watching like Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man, like those movies got me super hyped. The X-Men movies.
Yep.
Watching like Firefly, watching all these like very niche, very like nerd quality
At the
time.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Firefly's
yes,
still pretty niche, to be
Still, yeah.
honest.
Yeah. But
fucking great.
that was sort of like what got me interested in all these subject matters, and then going here and not having any of that represented.
Yeah.
It did it was kind of a
Little
letdown
odd.
for me.
Yeah.
I will admit, but I did appreciate a lot of like getting to meet people, actually seeing the artists behind a lot of these like amazing like pieces, or if they're working on new projects, they're like down to like let you know about it.
Yeah.
And it felt like more accessible. And I know that's what someone on the panel said today too, was that like movies and TV shows have made it more accessible for people to get into this stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought even
Walking
coming
into
here,
a comic shop is intimidating.
it is
Most
again
comic,
more
like,
gatekeeping stuff.
You know,
for me.
I work for a comic shop. I do all the video production for the Comic Book Hideout in Fullerton, and the theme we get so often is people as they're leaving after they've come to the shop for the first time, they go, "You guys are so nice." Like I've been to so many comic shops where they're really just, I mean, I don't want to say rude, but
They're not helpful.
they're not helpful, and they kind of are. If you're they know you don't belong, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're just
And
trying to
don't get me
get
wrong, we
your
definitely get a lot of
transaction settled and
Yeah.
get you out of there.
And there's definitely like a lot of, people coming in who said, yeah, I went to this other shop and they were actually really rude. And that does happen. But I think by and large, they just are so used to people who know the ins and outs of comics that when they find somebody who doesn't, they either are going to information dump on them or they're going to or they gatekeep, or they just don't know what to say. Like they're like, where do we even start?
Yeah.
Like, And I've only been to about, I would say, 3 shops where I felt 100% that I could ask anything without judgment. Mm-hmm. And it's very rare.
Yeah.
So movies really did allow for that basic knowledge to be there, so that when you walked in, you weren't going in completely blank. You can be like, yo, I like Wolverine, or, I really want to know about Umbrella Academy, because you've seen something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So, and then with this being as franchise heavy as it is now, with Comic-Con especially, like, there's, Jurassic Park was a book, obviously, before it was a film, but it wasn't a giant franchise. That happened after film.
Okay, I know more of this. I read the books.
Yeah, so good.
And I saw a lot of documentaries about it. So the book wasn't really even fully out in print before the movie rights were bought by Steven Spielberg.
I believe it.
Because Michael Crichton at that time had already written so many amazing books. So it wasn't like, oh, there's a lot of fans of the book and now they're ready to see the movie. It was sort of like the book just came out. Guess what? The movie's right here. Great. 1-2 punch.
And now the only people who do that is Netflix, and that's just because they'll greenlight anything.
Yeah.
They need content.
Sweet Tooth is a comic. That one just came out. Obviously, Umbrella Academy is out.
Umbrella Academy,
Lock
smash
and Key.
hit.
Yeah.
Lock and Key is an indie comic. Like, we have a list in the Comic Book Hideout of movies and like show. Anytime a rights gets signed over and it makes the news, we keep it. I mean, it's in the kitchen so that we know. But it's like, oh, if we're displaying if any of these books come out, we make sure people know that they're out.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that people are coming in for, because this show is coming out.
Yeah.
I'm the same way about just fiction books. Once they've been like optioned for like a certain production company. I know Reese Witherspoon's been doing that a lot. She has a Reese's Book Club and then her own production company, which I think was bought out by a bigger group already. But they've been are turning a lot of books into the movies.
Yeah.
Like Where the Crawdads Sing, which was a huge book last year. It's getting made into a movie.
Cool.
I only heard about the movie news, and that led me to like, oh, I should read the book.
Yeah.
Same thing with Gone Girl. I picked up Gone Girl once I saw a trailer for the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to see this.
I've read so many books that I first saw.
Yeah.
Or that I saw something related to.
So we did for The Martian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
I bet.
The book and the movie.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
the after watching the first episode of Lovecraft Country, I was like, I got on my library app and I downloaded the audiobook.
Only one season. Only getting one
And
season.
so I think it's only one book. Is why I think the season goes through the entire book.
I know what they're gonna stop after one season of a very popular, critically acclaimed
This
show.
is
Well,
HBO, right?
They did just
Yeah.
lose somebody, so I don't know. So, Brian,
Yeah.
this is not your first con.
No.
This is not our first con together
No.
either. And you've been on the booth side of this thing before as well.
Yeah. This was so like we said,
so-
it's pretty calm.
How's your con going?
It's going great. So I've been away for a while. working in North Carolina, so I haven't been around a whole lot. Haven't had too much fun. So like it's cool coming like hanging out
Brian
with
has
the homies.
become a crab fisherman.
Basically, yeah.
Deadliest catch.
Deadliest.
But only for
Boring.
just blue crabs on the East Coast.
Yeah, everything. If they're not blue crab, I throw them right out.
It's true. It's true. I've seen him do it.
You were there?
Very discriminatory. No, he live streams on Twitch.
On Twitch?
Yeah, B-Rom Crab Tom. Fuck off, it wasn't good, okay? They can't all be singers. Brian, you've been in North Carolina.
So like
working in the movie business.
Yeah. So
Wait, have you told people who listen to you what you work on, or do you?
No, because we haven't recorded
We
a
haven't
podcast in a
recorded
year and a
since
half.
Oh, well, tell them what you're working on.
Yeah, so I'm working on Our Kind of People out in North Carolina. It's a show.
On Fox, right?
Yeah, sure. So so I've been away and like working crazy hours, and so it's not only but like we've been in the pandemic, so I'm not used to being around so many people at once. And so normally in big crowds, like I'm usually pretty good. Like I go to concerts all the time. I'll go to cons all the time, Comic Cons all the time, and I'm usually okay. Every once in a while, I'm like, all right, I gotta step out, kind of thing. And so not being around too many people lately, it's like, oh, I gotta get used to this again. And so I felt like this con was a great way to ease back into it because it's something familiar, but also it's like half full.
Yeah, I was just talking to Clay about this, about how
Special guest Clay Davis.
Special guest Clay Davis. I was just talking about this with him because I was saying, because I am not super fond of big crowds all the time, and I definitely have had pretty like I'm not going to be there because of the size of the crowd, conversations in my mid-20s.
Also, this past year alone.
But what I was saying to Clay was that because of the pandemic, my willingness to be around crowds went entirely down to zero, and now has been building itself back up.
Yeah, exactly.
And I am now kind of at a point, especially with this, like obviously I'm still not really big into crowds, but it's so different now because I feel like I've been slowly working my way back into crowds in a way that I couldn't when the world was still active.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice this being kind of a lesser number because it's like I couldn't handle regular SDC right now.
Hell no.
I wouldn't
No.
even want to
No.
get anywhere near this side of
No.
San Diego.
No.
And I've done the con shuffle before, and I've moseyed my way down 3 inches at a time, desperate
Yeah.
to move because we're stuck in a mosh pit of people all trying to get to a booth.
But everybody's trying to move in different directions all at the same time.
Yeah, it's awful. It's
Yeah.
like being in a grocery store and a mosh pit and the DMV all at once. Anyway,
Weirdly accurate.
I'm kind of, some of them were good.
Yeah.
He looked pointedly at me as if I was judging his other things.
I mean,
I think
aren't you all?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Bridget, this makes up for everything.
Good job. It doesn't. It does. Not even close. But anyway, yeah, with it being a feeling like half capacity.
And like I
it's
mentioned a couple minutes ago, like we could easily walk from one end to the other in the middle of the con and be there within less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Also, easy to find each other.
Yeah, it was.
We split up a bit.
Oh my God, we'd split up, and I would literally just have to kind of look around a bit and go,
oh, hey,
he's
see
over there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Never.
There's too many heads, and like 6
Or
of
if it
them are
does
tall, and
happen-
people have costumes.
I think
Yeah.
that happened.
We ran into each other after my Steven Universe panel.
Yeah.
Just walked
We
right
had
up
no
toward each
idea.
other.
Yeah.
And
We
it
were-
was so like
hours
not-
later, we're like, oh shit, cool, I found you. Woo.
And then we just went off.
Yeah.
That was that. But like this, yeah, like I would run into people and then we'd like say bye and like I'd see them, I'd know where they were, 3 aisles down because I was like, oh yeah, no, he's over there. It's so nice.
Yeah, so that's been really nice about it. There's not as many vendors, which is interesting. But again, like this also is still mid-pandemic, sort of. But it's also like the weekend after Thanksgiving, so like a lot of people are with their families, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So it kind of makes sense in that manner, which again I'm okay with. But I was kind of looking to do some comic book hunting, and there wasn't really a whole lot of that. Like
Yeah.
Bridget mentioned earlier, like we went to like 3 or 4 vendors looking for Planet Hulk, and we found it, but like there was only 4 major like booths with trade paperbacks, which is really odd. Normally, there's easily 10 to 15. Of
Not a lot of
everywhere.
digging I've been able to do.
Yeah.
Like I literally said to you yesterday, like I'm just looking for flipping through.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And
There's not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot of there's a lot of action figures.
Yeah.
It's weird. The biggest booth there is the Gundam models booth.
Yeah.
I saw so many bags that said that on the
The
side.
Gunpla, yeah, and that's normally what you're going to see. Whatever Marvel's big thing is, whatever their giveaways are, even if it's just a personal fan to blow it, to wave back in front of your face that's shaped like Captain America's shield. Like
I would
you'll
buy
see.
it.
Gundam heard that they weren't coming this year, and they were like, "This is our moment."
Yeah. Right. But so like it's been pretty good so far. I did get some comics. I got a.
Yeah, did you get what you were looking for, or
No, not really. So
okay, what did you get?
So I was looking for some the Dark Horse Star Wars trades because they're super out of print, super hard to find, but also like they're also just damn good stories.
Yeah, they are.
So maybe we'll try and find some more tomorrow. But I did find Kevin Smith's run of Daredevil that he wrote. I have a couple of like single issues, but I haven't read the whole thing. So I was pretty stoked to find that pretty cheap. And then with the new Hawkeye series out, which is freaking great so far, first 2 episodes that I've seen, it's the Kate Bishop Hawkeye series. So I did read the first like 5 or 6 issues when I was working at Marvel, but I didn't read the second volume, issues like 6 to 12. So I found both of those super cheap, picked those up, and yeah.
Nice. Did you have anything that you were really looking for?
Just the Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
But I wasn't like super dead
You
set
didn't have
on
like a
it.
white whale you're
Yeah.
on the hunt for.
Yeah.
Moby Dick.
Literally, that's the
Signed
white
copy
whale.
of Moby Dick.
Signed copy.
Yeah.
Melville's honestly
Moby
stingy
Dick
with
signed
those.
it himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Dick himself. It's too big for his britches.
For his Jeff Bridges.
Get out, Bryce.
All right. Goodbye.
You're fired from your own podcast.
So not
Nicole
really any
taking
panels,
over.
but how
We did see
a
cool-
panel. How'd you? Why don't you tell them about that?
But that was dumb. It was stupid. It was freaking great. So no, you should tell that story because you were supposed to be on that panel.
You still
That
could've been
sort
on
of
it.
thing. I
Sort of.
honestly expected them to be like, "Oh, Bryce, you're here. Cool, come on up." But
Yeah.
they did not, because I think they wanted, couldn't print the tag.
Uh,
I could have had a tag with my name on it.
Yeah.
So cool.
So we were
Anyway.
walking around and Bryce got a call, and he just like kind of got serious for a second. He's like, I could do that. I'm like, what's going on?
And
Bryce
yeah,
took it away.
and on the other end of this phone call is Dave Ziegler, our resident comic historian. Shout out, Dave. How you doing, buddy? Oh, that's good. Oh, dude, yeah. Tell me about that later. Anyway, so Dave's on the other line. He's like, "Hey, you here tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'm gonna put you on with Fuzzy." So then Fuzzy, who's also been on our podcast before, Fuzzy Joseph, who's here promoting his comic, The War and Hope, he's like, "Hey, do you want to be on a panel tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I could do that. What are we talking about?" And he's like, "It's comics on comics. They had a couple of people bail, and they needed somebody funny, and I heard you riffing last night, so I thought, oh, Bryce can do it. He can talk forever." And yes, I can. Yes, I can. A 4-hour episode of the Doctor Who of Sneaky Geek is right there to prove it. Anyway, so I'm like, "What are we talking about?" And he goes, "Comics." And I'm like, "Right, but like,
Yeah,
what?"
there's a lot of them.
Because like, you sent me up there to talk about comics, and you want me to talk about like, I don't know, Saga or something, and I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about," So
Want to start that one?
I do. I hear really good things about Saga. But he's like, "I'll send you the details. Don't worry about it." So I wait for the message, and then the message comes in, and it's Watchmen and The Boys, and I've seen neither of those. I know I should watch Watchmen.
should watch
The answer of who's watching The Watchmen? Not Bryce. But I've read part of Shitty Watchmen by Dave Baker and his little crew. And that's, it's a redrawing of the original Watchmen, and it's intentionally bad.
Yeah.
And it's called Shitty Watchmen.
It's called Shitty Watchmen.
Shitty Watchmen. It's
and
so good.
we interviewed him, and that episode is titled "Who Shittily Watches the Shitty Watchmen." Yeah, so
Sneaky
I've never
classic.
seen The Watchmen, and the few times I've tried to watch the movie, even I like started falling asleep, so that didn't work.
Well, yeah.
And The Boys we tried to watch, but I was still apparently on the TV on my PlayStation was still logged into my ex's Amazon account at the time, and so I jumped to whatever episode she was apparently on,
which was the season finale.
Which was the season freaking finale.
Which
so
we didn't find out for 25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes in, I'm like, God damn it, this isn't the first episode at all. And then we stopped watching because I was very mad and I didn't want to start the whole thing over because it was already late.
It's been long enough.
You should watch it.
I know. But there's so many other things. I'm in the middle of watching The Tick. Like, I can one superhero show at a time.
Which you've already seen.
I've never seen that movie. No, I've never seen The Tick. I've seen the cartoon The Tick. But I've never seen this new The Tick. I didn't I didn't finish it.
You didn't
I
finish
just started it over midway so that you could see the episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
How cute.
Anyway, I can't go on this panel. So in the bathroom, while I was washing my hands next to Batman, I
having a crisis.
just having like I guess I can't fucking do it. And I text Brian, I say, uh-oh, as I'm like going into the bathroom.
Yeah,
and
so we're like,
he's just like,
you
Bryce
going
went
into
into
the
the bathroom and then texts me,
uh-oh, yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
You're
And
all
when
like,
I
did he
see
fall
him
in?
send me
Yeah.
back several question marks, I'm like, oh, no, it's fine.
And then he doesn't, I send the question marks and he doesn't get back to me for like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm like, well, it's nice knowing him.
Bryce died in the bathroom. He is drowning in shit.
There hasn't been a bathroom there in 30 years.
Anyway, isn't the real bathroom the friends that we made along the way? Okay, final bathroom joke. We're done there.
God,
anyway,
shit.
so I sent.
I hate potty humor.
How dare you? Anyway, that pun was terrible. Jesus.
You know what else is terrible? Toilet paper.
This toilet paper
In the bathroom.
Yeah.
Ah,
you.
it took me a second. I was like, what did you guys talk about? Was it one
I'll tell you
pie
what.
or something?
I mean, if we're gonna be since it's a con detail, I'll tell you the toilet paper has like when it comes out, it's like a pull out, like a tissue box.
Yeah.
But if the tissue box was, the size of a dime, the hole for the tissue box is the size of a dime, and so like every third piece of toilet paper you pull, that's the end of your toilet paper. You're like, well, I guess I'm just gonna bunch up these Kleenex here before I powder my nose and see a man about a horse. Anyway, I told Dave I couldn't do it. And Dave said, okay, I'll tell Fuzzy. And I told Dave why, and Dave didn't tell Fuzzy why. And then Fuzzy saw my message on Facebook Messenger where I said, hey, buddy, I've never seen The Boys or Amazon or The Watchmen. And he says, oh, that doesn't even matter. We're actually going to be talking about other stuff. And I said, oh, well, in that case, I guess I can do it. And he's like, dude, I already told him you couldn't do it.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, so, okay, I'm really not going to do it then. Okay, well, then that's that. And so I didn't I didn't get to be on the panel. And everybody was sad about it. But you know who did get to suddenly be on that panel? Dave Ziegler! Our resident historian Dave was on a panel. Because I couldn't. So shout out to Dave, and good job, Dave, because it was a great panel.
It was a great panel.
The panel was hosted by Comics on Comics, which is the first podcast ever to be recorded live at the Improv. They kind of paved the way for podcasts that do their shows at the Improv. And they've been around for 12 years.
Yeah.
They're a long-standing podcast.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, so we're hoping to join up with them sometime in the near future. But yeah, main guy was Juan, and he was great.
He was
of
cool
course,
as hell.
Fuzzy was on there too.
Yeah.
And they talked about a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah. And bounced around a bunch of different.
I was gonna say, I don't know what the actual topic for the.
I don't think they
Yeah, so we missed the first 5 minutes because we didn't get let in because we had drinks.
Yes.
Yeah, we had Starbucks, and they didn't want us to bring in our Starbucks.
Yeah, I had to drink my iced chai tea latte very quickly.
I poured mine into my water bottle.
Yeah, I had to do
That's
that
what Brian was doing. Listen to that downstairs go. Anyway.
The party continues.
Yes, it does.
It's the Coyote Ugly across the street.
Yeah.
You mean Lee Ugly? Because
Yeah,
Coyote is
the
completely
Coyote.
gone.
Coyote Ugg.
Budget cuts.
They took out the coyotes. They had too many dragons. There were too many dragons, and so they cut all the parts of the coyotes.
That's it. That's why.
No, that's why there's no wolves in season 8 of. Because the
that's
CGI
right.
was all wasted on the dragons.
Really?
Yeah.
But they had an endless budget. HBO literally gave them an endless budget. It was
Did
like,
they,
make
though?
as many as you want.
Maybe it was too much work. I don't know. It did seem like work was not on their priority list. Anyway,
Tangent.
so Brian,
Yeah.
any other con Saturday stories you got?
We actually, it was kind of nice now that all the big stuff wasn't there today, and there wasn't as many people. We could spend a little bit more time in like Artist Alley and
That
checking
is
out
the
all that
most time
stuff.
I think I've spent in Artist Alley
Yeah,
in a long time.
besides WonderCon,
Yeah.
it was definitely here.
Yeah, WonderCon I spent a lot of time there, but I'm mostly there for the small press stuff that's in that area.
Yeah. And so it's cool because now, or here at least, small press is different from Artist Alley.
Yeah.
Whereas like WonderCon, they're usually together.
Right.
So we got to see some really cool artwork and talk to some really cool artists. And
Yeah.
Bridget, you got some stuff.
I did. But again, it wasn't really shopping for me.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, this would be great for this person. I'm buying it.
Mm-hmm.
There was an artist. I can't remember their name. I should write these things down. I bought he makes this sort of typography imagery where like he'll create an image with words, but the words also relate to the image.
Yeah.
So there was, I think Bryce got something too, actually.
I'm gonna go pull it up.
But I'll let him tell you what he got. I got, it was in the shape of a sunflower, and it was the Beatles lyrics to "Here Comes the Sun," and that's what spelled out in the shape of the sunflower with coloring and everything.
Yeah.
And I got that for my nanny because my Poppy's favorite flower was sunflower, and that's what reminds her of him. So I thought that'd be nice to
That's
have.
so
Sweet.
I am not going to tell you.
Oh, could spoil.
He will not let you guys know, but it is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lines to lines to scripts, lines to other
Yeah, 'cause they
things
had
that
One
were
for
all. But he
songs.
writes
Yeah.
it out by hand, and then uses ink in certain colors, so it kind of makes like a word mosaic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
He did the one that really caught our eye at first that attracted us to the booth was
The Avengers one.
every word in Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Endgame and Infinity War
and it
together.
had all the like OG Avengers, and then Thanos
Yeah.
in the center with his gauntlet.
Yeah.
That's what it all
Yeah.
was
Like the comic book cover too, which was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that, and there was they kept mentioning like, oh, there were sports things in there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we
what
didn't
would
look
be
at the
it.
lookbook. It was in the beginning.
Yeah.
And we were just like,
Yeah, I
okay.
wonder if it was like the
Sports
game's
teams.
commentary or something.
Yeah, could be.
Which is like not that interesting. It goes and the guy intercepted and like,
I mean, yeah, if it works. Yeah. Or maybe it's just the song "I'm Gonna Fly Now" from Rocky, just over and over again.
Right.
not even
Yeah.
Eye of the Tiger.
You think that artist liked like getting in trouble and having to write sentences over and over again?
What?
Oh.
You know, you
when
ever
that's
write
a question
lines?
in school.
Mhm.
You know,
I
like,
mean, I literally have done that for just like, I don't know.
Handwriting practice.
Yeah.
oh wow.
Or just because sometimes you just want to write lyrics because you're, 16 and you're emo.
And you put it in your binder.
Put it in the
In the front of the binder.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
the front of the binder isn't for written lyrics.
Yes, it is.
Right.
It's for Ralph
whatever
Waldo
you're
Emerson's
working
kids
on at the
and
time.
cut out pictures of for your favorite characters from the anime you're watching right now that you printed out on your mom's computer that's running out of ink. But you know what? That blue line gives a character.
It just like fades.
You're
on
pretty
the
sure it's
clipboard.
still Nicholas Wolfwood if half of the pixels aren't there.
Back on the panel.
The panel, the panel was great.
Yeah,
Nicole, this is your first con.
Yes, it is. It is my first con of all.
Yes.
Carnival.
Con of all.
All right.
That could be the name of the episode. Carnival.
The carnival.
The carnival. The greatest carnival.
Yeah, it was a lot calmer than I expected, which I was happy about.
Yeah.
I don't really like enormous, very packed crowds, which is what I
Right.
was worried it would be because that's what I've always heard it is.
Which
Yeah.
for me, it's like, oh god, I can't move my legs. But for you, it's like I'm smelling that man's sweaty back.
I'm literally pressed up against everyone's sweaty back, and I am not happy because no one can see me.
How
Yeah.
tall are you?
5 feet tall.
Ah,
So this is a
That'll do it.
podcast, and Nicole is 5 feet tall, and
Which
not
is
very.
quite short compared to the average height of American women.
Is it
Yes.
5'5"?
That's 5'5".
And this place happens to have a lot of also American men who are even taller.
Even taller, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a rare sight. You don't see many tall people usually.
I see one every day.
Oh, that's true.
Go on, yeah.
This is a podcast, and I'm pointing at Bryce right now.
You got to say the thing.
Nice. Nailed it.
Well, for reference as well, I'm 5'10", so I am tall. I am
Yeah.
taller than the average woman. I am the height of the quote-unquote average man in America.
Ah, you are the height of the average
I
man.
am
Height of the average
It
man.
doesn't get better of average men than you.
Thank you. This is great for my self-esteem.
At least you're the best, though.
Yeah, I guess.
The best of the best. The height.
Mm-hmm. What you were saying?
Yeah, I didn't really have any plan coming in because I didn't really know what exactly to expect.
But you
so-
cosplayed.
But I did
You did.
cosplay.
And this is your first cosplay.
Yes, it is. And I was Greg from Over the Garden Wall.
And you looked
had
great.
my little teapot on my head all day. I got quite a few compliments, and
It
I
was-
was very happy.
A lot of people really liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool to see people going like, oh my God, look.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there
Some
were people
didn't
talking about
get
you who
it.
didn't even
Oh
say
yeah,
anything.
I
to you.
Yeah.
didn't even see.
Yeah.
Didn't
Talking behind my back.
Didn't
Actually,
you meet
twice.
someone and you're like, oh, I was cosplaying earlier as this, and then they recognized, they're like,
They-
oh my god, I saw you
No, they
earlier.
were talking about another person dressed as Greg that they saw yesterday,
Oh.
but
You guys have to
that would have
fight.
been. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Just
that's
that
what all the
Spider-Man
Wandas are going to be
meme
doing
of them
later.
pointing at each other.
Yep, exactly.
So, what did you think Comic-Con was going to be like?
Like this, but with the Marvel and DC,
Okay.
and way more crowded.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought there would be like more giveaways and stuff. More.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought there would be trailers playing. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I just thought it would be more.
Yeah.
It still was
Announcements.
great. I very
Yeah.
much enjoyed it, but
Surprisingly, I mean, sorry, this cutting in. I was just thinking about how Hawkeye just came out this week, and there's nothing here
Nothing.
to promote the new show on Disney Plus featuring
Yeah.
a comic character.
Yep.
yeah.
Peacemaker was here,
Peacemaker has been going hard.
Peacemaker
Yeah.
and Gundam.
and then it
were-
turns out that John Cena actually made an appearance at the
Of course he did.
the
Also,
the
At the Masquerade.
at the Masquerade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were right next to that.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
we were. And did he show up in a suit and tie?
Of course he did. Nope, this dude showed up as the Peacemaker himself.
I wonder if he
Damn
sleeps
right.
in those clothes now.
Probably.
He's got Peacemaker pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
what if this isn't a gimmick?
This is
Yeah,
his
it's a
life
stick.
now.
He's a
The-
method actor.
Yeah.
He's just gone full method. He thinks
Full
he's a
Jared Leto,
Peacemaker.
but in a good way.
Ah, living cats. Cool. Anyway, so did you have anything you thought you might want to buy?
Anything Centaur World, which is like my
Which
current
is-
obsession.
Okay,
Uh,
can we talk about Centaur World?
Please.
Briefly,
Yeah.
but
All
that
I wanna
is
talk
really
Because that is
a
another
whole
podcast.
Another podcast.
Yes.
But I mean, the quickest way to say it, I think, is y'all are sleeping on Centaur World. Like,
Wake up.
wake up, go
Wake
watch
up
some
right
Centaur
now.
World.
If
Do
you
your
are sleeping-
research.
Centaur World
Wake up.
is.
Take the red pill.
no.
All right. Take the Centaur pill, and that's that.
Take the Centaur pill, yes. That's
The
fine.
butt pill.
Literally,
yeah, but
the
they
whole,
were suppositories.
Yeah.
That's why they're so big.
the whole show is everything is of some form of a centaur.
Everything.
Like the trees.
Trees
the
are
Trees are
sun,
centaurs, the
moon,
leaves.
the
Continents on the planet are centaurs.
There's grass tars.
Grass tars, cat tars, tornadoes,
Yep.
leaves. That bird tar.
bird,
A bird tar,
There's
he's a finch tar.
Ah. This is a podcast, and you didn't see it, but they just fist pumped. Boop.
The boop was. we're not gonna keep doing this. Anyway, so have you found anything Netflix related? Centaur World?
No, nothing. And I'm angry at every single artist who didn't have one. You guys are shameful. No, I mean, you're great, but I was a little disappointed that I didn't see any.
I fully expected at least some Centaur World
Something.
shirts.
Something.
Because
I
Steven
would've
Universe went so hard, and I
settled
feel
for
like
a
this is
sticker,
an
but I
example.
didn't see so much as a sticker. Nothing.
Yeah, it's still new. It came out in July.
Yeah, but that's
Came out
plenty
this summer.
of time.
But I do think that it kind of was a bit of a sleeper. I think that people are only starting
I didn't really
to
know
now.
about it until like.
Season 2 is coming
we didn't
out.
find out about it until a
I
month
didn't know
ago.
about it until yesterday.
Yeah.
Season 2 is coming out December 7th. Everyone, get ready.
Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars. Watch season 1. Wait with bated breath because it's going to be great.
The Solar Opposites just released a new show too, or a new. They did a claim. It was supposed to come out this week. They did a claymation holiday special.
Cool.
But so you haven't gotten any of that. Have you gotten anything else?
I have gotten. Why don't?
I just remembered what you did get, and I'm very excited.
Why don't you tell them what?
No.
I
You were the guy. You were the one who made close friends with this guy.
Oh. Are we talking about my
What did I
prints?
miss?
Were the 3 prints?
Oh yes, the 3 prints. I got 3 prints.
Oh yeah.
One is of oh my god, I'm
One is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, this
Obi-Wan-
artist
no,
does
that's
it in
what
like a Japanese old like art style.
It is entirely done. So one of them's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
After he's died and coming out of coming out of the robe on the ground,
And he's a ghost.
while Vader is standing, I don't know, stamping on it, that kind of thing. One of them is The Last of Us, right?
Yes.
Okay. What was the third one?
The other one was Twilight of the Apprentice.
Okay,
Yeah,
Twilight of the
it was.
Apprentice from Star Wars Rebels. But all of them are in the style of Japanese woodblock prints. So you imagine that you peaked so hard. I'm gonna have
So hard.
It's gonna take so long to fix that. So
It's like 4
imagine all of these scenes like as paintings, but now in like classic, like over 100-year-old art. And it's
Yeah,
done, and
it was really
it's
cool.
and the original piece is not done digitally. It is done with a because there's a ton of digital artists
He does
that
it
do really
with
nice prints.
a original or
A traditional-
traditional. That's the word I was looking for. Traditional Japanese calligraphy brush. And then once he's inked it all, he scans it in and then works things out digitally and
He'll do a little
fix little
coloring.
fixes. But yeah, I have them printed on Japanese parchment paper,
Yeah,
which is
Yeah.
very
hand-pressed
nice.
Japanese.
Hand-pressed.
And it gives it a
parchment
whole
paper.
new look. 'Cause
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ink just it sets differently.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're beautiful works of art, and we'll try to get them once we
I'm
get them.
good. He's
framed,
got
I'll put 'em up on our
recommendations
sneaky
for
peek.
how to get them framed. He says cheaply, but so they look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was really cool about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. He studied up at BYU, and I was like, oh, BYU, that means you're more than likely Mormon, which means you're more than likely a Boy Scout. And so we talked about Boy Scouts
Yeah.
a little bit. We talked about just all sorts of shit.
Yeah, he was
actually
really cool.
He was a really cool
Yeah.
dude. I actually still kind of want to go back and get the Metal Gear Solid prints that he has.
So I got a print from him too. From
Oh,
my
yeah.
brother.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did, and yours
Yeah.
is super cool.
Right?
That was
Oh.
the Evangelion one.
Yeah.
Evangelion. It was I think it was AV Unit 3, walking in the. It's like out in the water, and there's like a rice paddy in the
Yeah.
front.
He's like a ship also on the bottom.
Yeah, it's like a
Scale.
river.
Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
a nice little like
Or
ship
lake,
in
or
the
yeah.
water.
Yeah,
in
something.
a body of water. But
Yeah.
you can see the scale really well. It's
It's really
beautiful.
My brother, that's his favorite anime, and he and I did this switcheroony one time when I was living at home. I really wanted him to get into Game of Thrones. This was before season 8,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Well, if I watch Game of Thrones, then like you have to watch one of my shows. It's like a tit for tat." I was like, "Awesome, let's do it." So he chose Evangelion, and he got way more into Game of Thrones than I got into Evangelion.
How far did you get into Evangelion?
Well, halfway, and I guessed one of the twists, and Connor got mad at me.
What was the twist?
That Rey was a clone of his mother.
Oh yeah, that's kind of
Spoilers.
obvious. I feel like, but
Yeah.
also spoilers. Yeah, whoop, spoiler tag. Whoop. I mean, there's a lot still left.
Yeah.
I feel like. That,
Well, I
What
mean,
was
he
it
told
the
me.
other day that you were mad at me about because I was like I wasn't surprised at all by this twist or by this reveal. Oh, Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey.
I wasn't mad about it, but
I can't reveal
also
any of
Hitmonkey's
what it
really
is,
good. But there's some moments in Hitmonkey that I was like, I think that this is how it's gonna go, but like they could do something different. And Nicole was like, there was never a point where I
No.
thought they would do anything
the
different. than
moment, like from the first episode, I was like,
that. Character walked in and she was like,
Yep.
that's gonna happen.
yep.
Don't even know what this is.
It's a animated series on Hulu
From Marvel.
Yep, it's made by the creators of, or at least the showrunners of Archer, I want to say. I think the showrunners. They worked on Archer. They were big, heavy in the story on Archer.
It's set in
Which
Japan.
one, Archer Vice?
It's set in Japan. In modern times.
Yes.
And it's about a snow monkey who is his entire, I don't know, tribe of other monkeys gets murdered, and he goes on a vengeance spree with the help of a dead
assassin named Bryce?
named Bryce.
So it's like a light comedy.
It's super lighthearted.
It's
yeah,
a super.
You know,
it's so
it's a
dark.
romp.
It's
really
such
romp.
a dark. It's so
The
gory.
rating is Y7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Centaur World is rated Y7. So if you want to watch it with your kids and then have to explain a lot of that subject matter, then
Think
go
Adventure
do that.
Time. That's, I think, really close
Sure,
to
yeah.
it.
I feel
Yeah.
like
It's like the
slightly
later
darker.
seasons of Adventure Time.
You wait till the whale tar shaman.
Oh god.
It's
We
so
are
dark.
only on this
Yeah,
third
yeah.
episode.
Third? Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even made it to the shaman.
The shaman. Anyway, did you get anything else? You had something else you bought?
I got an enamel pin that says it's a ghost, and it says "Boo, you whore."
Oh, you did get that one.
I think that's it. I
I got
don't.
your patches.
I got a lot of cute little patches.
Did you really?
None of them are like
Wow.
anything in particular. One is like a cat with a knife in its mouth.
Nice.
One of them says, not today,
Oh, I
Satan.
did get a Capsule
today,
Corp and
Satan.
a Red Ribbon Army patch. each.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
You're like
cool.
10 of them.
Yeah, I got a whole
Yeah.
bunch.
Did you?
I spent like $50 in patches.
Nicole's into patches. Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So that's what I got. Yeah, that was my haul.
Nice. We ended up picking up some cool prints of some watercolors.
Dude.
Mm.
These
that was a story.
watercolors.
That was the story.
These and we're not going to get too much into
No.
them, but these watercolors are basically we got 2 Mando prints and a Boba Fett print.
Yeah.
But we got Boba Fett on there, and he's in the image that this guy painted this like long ago,
Like 3-4
before
years ago.
there was any evidence of Rancors being ridden in like the new comics. But he got Boba Fett riding on a Rancor, which
Yeah.
is just
It was
wild.
cool.
So
Yeah.
cool. And then I got Mando. Was it done?
He's holding the baby.
He's holding the baby, yeah. And then
I like
then
that
you
one.
got
That one looks
one.
really good.
Yeah. Then I got one of Mando holding the baby, but like touching foreheads.
Yeah, the
And their
forehead
eyes
touch.
closed.
Like,
Yeah.
Like Justin Lubin's.
Yeah. Justin.
Yeah, Justin Lubin's picture
Yeah.
of Ahsoka and the
And
baby.
Grogu. Yeah.
Baby
And
Um,
Grogu.
Yeah, so it was cool because like this guy's booth was fairly big for one of those booths, but he had a couple different sizes of prints and like 4 or 5 books, and each book had something completely different from the next one.
Oh,
So
you
we
had
went through.
that whole series of Transformers from famous
Yes,
cars.
those were so cool.
One.
Yeah, he had the
Falcon,
DeLorean.
The DeLorean,
that's
the Millennium
cool.
Falcon,
Millennium
X-Wing,
Falcon.
all Transformers.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Jurassic Park Jeep turned into a Transformer
The
T-Rex.
Jurassic Park Jeep turned into one, and then
Yep.
the Jurassic Park tour car
Yeah, turned into a different one.
Yeah.
Turned into another one.
Yeah, they were amazing.
Those were
And those
so
both
cool.
turned into like
Dino.
the Dinobot
things.
versions
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Transformers.
Oh, that was so fun to look at.
Yeah.
You know,
It
they
was
had
so
Kit
cool.
from Knight Rider. They had
Yeah.
just think of any famous car they turned into.
They did,
a
yeah,
Transformer.
yeah. Herbie the Love
Herbie.
Bug.
I was just gonna ask.
was Bumblebee.
Herbie definitely was one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had some really good Spider-Man artwork. They had some good X-Men. I almost got an Archangel.
Oh, that
was
Archangel
really cool.
was pretty. He had a really beautiful
Yeah.
Gambit and a really beautiful
Yeah.
Nightcrawler too.
And just the way some of them he just straight up watercolor. Some of it he drew it, and then he just did basic colors of the watercolor colors like over the characters, which gave it a different like artistic look.
Yeah.
And we were there for quite a bit, just looking through, just being like, whoa.
I mean, he also was fangirling over you too after hearing that you guys worked on Mandalorian.
Yeah,
you guys got fangirled over a little bit.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they were fishing for it. They wore the merch.
Yeah, they wore the merch.
Yeah.
Like as we're sitting here,
I'm like, I'll wear my crew shirt.
as we're sitting here right now, Bryce is wearing the set lighting shirt from Mandalorian.
I did not do set lighting.
We did not even get into the building before someone stopped Bryce and said,
"That's right.
Did you work on Boba Fett?"
2?
That being said, that man
Legends
worked
guy.
on Legacy on
Oh,
Boba
Legacy.
Fett,
Yes, that's
and
right.
that is way cooler than any job I've ever done on a Star Wars.
What does Legacy do again?
They're the puppeteers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Legacy
the creature
does,
artists.
Legacy, they do the creature work. They do some of the prosthetic stuff. Like they're doing the sculpting, and then from there they also are doing the puppeteering
And costumes on
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you're saying there's a
incredible stuff.
puppeteering needed for Boba Fett.
I mean, there's all sorts of creatures in Star Wars.
Yeah. That's how they do it.
Okay.
That's what I like. That's why I like the Clone Wars in that era, because there's way more aliens. Like the sequels are almost all people.
It's
Except for that
surprising
one
how
guy.
human the space opera is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we talked to that guy for a little bit.
Got those cool
He had
prints.
some strong opinions about some things. And,
Yeah.
and I was getting to that point where I'm like, oh,
You're like,
if you say a
please
few
stop
more things,
saying things.
Stop saying things.
You're scaring
or-
me, sir.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we picked up some of those, and then we just started walking around a lot more.
We went. That's when we went to Artist Alley.
Yeah.
After that. Yeah.
I met some really cool people in Artist Alley. On top of that word piece
Oh,
that
you're
we
talking
talked
about the
about.
people who knew the band you were obsessed with?
Yeah,
college?
my
Tally
favorite
Hall.
band in college was a band called Tally Hall, which is this weird kind of fusion of like, I want to say like easy rock, folk.
Like
It's
pop
silly.
folk?
There's a lot of, but it's not quite poppy. It's they
If you
were
want to
silly.
understand this band, go on YouTube right now and search Banana Man.
That was the first song I ever heard by them. Yeah,
So
that's
wait,
a good
if
one.
you typed in Banana Man, would that be the
Search
first thing that
Banana
comes up?
Man Tally Hall
Yeah, and if you
and watch that video, but prepare your soul.
that music that music video will prove right then and there whether you are a fun human or a robot, or if you're afraid
Go
of
with
whatever
robots.
this is.
Yep.
No, I got nothing against robots. I don't know why I had to say it like that. It just came out. I don't know. It's just sometimes secretly I hate them. That's why my voice always goes.
Well, this is going to be another podcast.
No, Bryce, this is an intervention. Robots are fine. Stop that. It's robophobic.
No.
Keeping it. I edit this podcast. Which, no, I met there was a teenager there who had a booth. Like, she was in high school, and I was just like baffled at the idea of having your own table at Artist Alley when you're like
That's
not
pretty
even
cool.
out of high school yet. But I was flipping through some of her work, and the guy, we were right next to the booth with all the words, and I didn't want to be not supportive of this young budding artist, and so I was like, all right, I will look through, and as I started flipping through, I was like, actually, I kind of dig this, and then I started looking at the characters that she had drawn, and I go, is this Tally Hall? Because they all wear these distinctive different colored ties, and they all wear their like an individual solid tie color. And it's, other than that, they were always in white button downs and black slacks. And I was just like, is this Tally Hall? And she was like, wide-eyed, like, yeah. Like, yeah, because they're from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Like, and they got big enough to be on Craig Ferguson like twice. But they, the lead guitarist from it wrote the song Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Oh,
I love that song.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf.
I love the whole orchestra version
Yeah,
they did
that-
with the curtain dancers.
All, yes. Running
So
for your
good.
life.
The child choir.
Blood is running fast from your stump leg.
But you know jujitsu.
You
Anyway.
can do it.
Anyway, so I'm like,
Body slam
Nobody-
superstar Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
but I'm like, nobody knows. And she was like, yeah, it's from Tally Hall. And I just look at her and I go, nobody knows Tally Hall. Like, Tally Hall broke up like 10 years ago. I'm like, nope. People don't know Tally Hall. Like,
And here
where are
is,
you
like,
from? And she's
a
like, I'm from
17-year-old
And here's
girl.
a 17-year-old girl who, like, I found him in my freshman year. And I was like, I've been to, like, I think I've been to all but like 4 of their concerts in California or in Southern California. And she just like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, like I hung out with them and watched their bands with that, like the opener acts, like with the band. Like I chilled with them before this I talked to them after the concerts. Like we knew each other. I emailed back and forth with these, and she's just like losing her mind
She fainted.
She
was out. She lost it.
You were not there.
I wasn't even there.
but she was
like,
just
Nicole, what are you talking
flipping
about?
out. And so I bought some work from her, and it was just tickled me just to think that somebody else who is like half my age was just like, yeah, I know this band that you went to every concert for, and I went to Lollapalooza, like 90%
when
was
you were her age, right? Or
I discovered it when I was 18.
So
yeah.
age.
So like right around her age.
I was like, that was my when I was her age now, yes, but not when she discovered it. Sorry,
Right.
it doesn't matter. Anyway,
That math again.
math.
Ah.
No, not doing okay.
No, we can't.
No. So I bought some art from her, and then I looked at her because like I left art for like 10 years. I didn't draw for a long time, and I looked at her and I said, "Don't you fucking stop drawing, like just don't." And she was like, "Okay," and I was like, "No, as somebody who like stepped away and had to really work to get back, like, don't stop, just don't do it." She was like, "Okay," and then I looked at the person who was next to her, and I was like, "You either." Don't stop drawing, and then I walked away. But I got that, and then other than that, my con's been pretty cruising. I've been buying a lot of Christmas gifts, like I said, and I did find the book I wanted, and it was about $60 more than I wanted to pay for it. So I did not pick up my Miss Marvel #1 yet. And when I don't know, it was overpriced when I saw it at, like 4 years ago, and they were like, "Yeah, that's $100." I'm like, yeah, you know something, but
You did get Spider-Gwen.
I did get a Spider-Gwen #1 first printing, and I did get a trade paperback of the X-Babies, which actually was my very first comic my dad bought me long ago.
I thought X-Men don't develop their powers until puberty.
These are already like it's all the X-Men.
But they're baby. It's
But
like
they
all
got
the
turned
babies.
into babies.
Oh.
They got turned into little
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
X-Men babies.
There should be shows of that.
Didn't think
Watch the hell out of that show.
much. Yeah, they like Cyclops has a lisp, and it's great.
Not James Marsden.
No, James Marsden, no. And then I did find a Nova from like 2009.
Oh yeah.
Like from the run when the entire Nova Force gets killed. There is a run where they all die, and Nova's the only one who survives, and that leads right into because it's the Annihilation
Guardians
wave
and
that
stuff,
takes. Leads into the original or the current
The modern
kind of
version of-
modern version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And after that all goes down, Nova has the entire world mind, which like is kind of their dispatch kind of for the Nova Force, and the power of the Nova Force, which powers them all, is all on Richard Rider, and
It's all riding on him.
Oh.
so it was really cool because the world mind was just in a floating helmet, and that helmet was only in comics for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's in this it's with this action figure. And I'm like, that's so cool because like you don't see that version of the world mind anymore. It doesn't happen. We left that. Sam came along.
Yeah.
Sam, the other
Sam.
Nova is he's fine. But yeah, that's my that's the majority of my con experience. I almost bought some video games, but the video game guy was rude, and I'm not gonna buy from rude people.
That's
You
right.
bought from the girl, that one stand.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Yes, Limited Run is a company that gets the licensing for digital-only video games and makes a limited run of their game that is actually on a hard copy of the disc. So I grabbed some stuff there. Yes.
What'd you get?
I can't say.
Well, everybody else said what they got their people.
Yeah, but my people listen to my podcast.
Yeah, I'm not telling my family about the podcast.
Did you get presents for people?
I did. In
I
fact,
thought you got stuff.
Brenner
for
doesn't listen to my
yourself.
podcast.
Yeah.
He doesn't support me. He's a
Britta?
jerk. No, Brenner. No, Brenner, my
Britta,
my brother, the
she's
champ.
a no good bee.
The champ.
She's a no good bee. She's a GDB. Getting rid of the B. Anyway,
getting rid of
no,
the-
Brenner, my
Uh-huh.
brother, I got him a copy of one of his favorite franchises from way back on the PS2. It was released digitally on the PS4, like upgraded and spruced up, and they had a physical copy of that, and they had a like miniature of his car, which both were con exclusives.
Cool.
They said they only were selling this at like the con, and they hadn't sold it online at all.
Sweet.
So I was like,
I didn't
that
realize
was
that.
the final blow. Like they
Yeah.
were like, yeah, there's this, and this one. And I was like, of course I want the car, like that more than the game even. And they're like, and they're both con exclusives. And I was like, you said those fucking magic words.
Yeah.
All right.
Shut up and take my money.
All right. Because there's some cool con exclusives.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is late, and
It is.
we gotta post
I was
this,
like, what
BZ.
time is
It is after midnight.
It is
12:16
after midnight.
in the morning. We are on the official final day of Comic Con.
No, it's not. What time
Boom.
12:16.
12:16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12:16.
I wanted to be asleep already.
I wanted to be asleep
Yeah.
3 hours ago.
Yeah, this went way long. We all had so much to say.
It's all right.
Ah, it feels good.
Yeah, we're kind of back.
So yeah,
Like you say.
we'll leave you with the soothing sounds of
Just
Gaslamp Corner.
This really is white noise, isn't it?
Is that because they're all white down there?